Are you thinking about going on a cruise to Antarctica?
You should.
Yes. Stay tuned and we're going to tell you all about our entire journey through South America on the Coral Princess.
Excellent.
Morning everyone, I'm Rick.
And I'm Andrea.
And today we are talking about
our cruise to Antarctica. Feels like an eternity ago. It was only 10 months ago.
I know, it's like, where does the time go? Right?
I know.
It's like, all we've done this year practically is sit at home watching Netflix. At least it feels like.
Yeah, it does.
But that's all right.
We were able to be on one cruise, and that's more than anybody else's did, because...
That's right. And it's possible that we might even be on a second one in 2020.
Anyways, Antarctica.
Yes, definitely. So, Antarctica was one of those bucket list destinations.
Yes.
Who do you know who's been to Antarctica? Think about that.
Yeah, only 1% of the world population actually been to Antarctica. So,
if that.
Yeah. It's definitely a cruise worth taking. It's really beautiful. But there's a few things you need to know, and we are going to talk about it on this video.
Exactly.
First of all, what to pack.
Right, what to pack. So, the problem or the challenge that we had is that whenever we would go into Facebook groups and ask people what they were packing, essentially we got everything from bathing suits to polar jackets to boots to
everything. You need to bring everything.
Now, if you guys know us, you know that we pack light. It doesn't matter how long the trip is normally. Normally we fit everything into an itty-bitty little carry-on.
Not this time.
No.
I mean, we had to bring boots, like winter boots. We had to bring super puffy jackets, and we had to bring like swimsuit because in Buenos Aires and Montevideo it was really hot.
But Chile was warm too.
Yeah, Chile. Yeah. Well, the first day in Chile was pretty warm. Yeah. So you have to bring pretty much everything.
That's right.
And layers, lots of layers.
That's right. Layering is a great idea. So, for instance, flannel is really helpful. In some cases, you might want to wear a t-shirt below flannel, maybe a sweater on top.
Long johns.
Yeah. And
two pair of socks.
And I had a vest, and then I had the princess puffy jacket, and then I had an even bigger puffy jacket on top of that.
Yes. And yeah, there were a couple of kids in shorts that were just goofing around. I think they were freezing, but they were walking around in shorts. So, good for them.
If we went back to Antarctica, that's something that I would do. I would run around in my Speedo up and down.
Enjoy. Anyways, that was the first challenge we had, like packing. So bring a bit of everything because you will need it.
That's true. Number 2. So we were watching the news
a few weeks before.
Yeah. And we noticed that Santiago, which was our first, where we embark on the ship, they had some problems.
Mm-hmm. Riots and more riots.
Yeah. Now Santiago is well known for their protests and these sorts of things. However, this sort of escalated a little more than what we had expected.
Yes.
And
to the point that the hotel we originally booked was destroyed.
And not just a little, I'm not talking about like a little dinky motel. I'm talking about a 20-story Holiday Inn, Crown Plaza
tower.
Destroyed.
So we had to change hotel in the last minute, kinda.
Well, it would have been nice, don't you think, if Holiday Inn would have sent us a message saying, "Oh, I'm sorry.
We are changing your hotel because the original hotel was destroyed."
Didn't say anything about that. So that is a tip.
Yes.
Check to see that your hotel is open.
Exactly. Very much so. But again, we rebooked to a beautiful Intercontinental in a very nice area of Santiago, very calm, and there was no riots there.
But we didn't know. We heard that it was a better area.
Yes.
Well,
actually, no. Our taxi driver told us. I booked a transfer from the hotel to the port of San Antonio, and the tour company that arranged this for us, actually it was a great tour company, I'll leave the link in the description, told us, by the way, the Crown Plaza doesn't exist anymore. You might want to check. was like, oh, okay. Thank you.
So we booked the Intercontinental at this guy's suggestion.
Yeah.
But we also did a plan B.
Yes, we had a plan B. We booked another hotel at the airport, just in case the riots and escalate to a point which was not safe to leave the airport. We booked the hotel at the terminal.
That's right.
And we booked a refundable one, so till the last minute we kept that reservation and we cancelled it like a couple of days before.
All reservations were refundable. There was none of this pay in advance stuff. No. It's just not worth it.
No, not in this case.
I think it's never worth it.
Never worth it. But in this case, we booked everything, paid at the hotel because we didn't want to risk.
That's true. Exactly. So we woke up really early in the morning to catch our flight.
Mm-hmm. We woke up really early to catch our flight in Bologna. There was a nice thick layer of frost in Sassuolo.
Yes, that's right. And this one had everything on.
Yep.
I knew I was going to a warm destination.
I was freezing, so I was like dressed like this, sweater and shirt and whatever.
I had a t-shirt on and a light sweater and a light jacket, and that's it. And,
Boy was right. We arrived in Santiago, and our bag took about 2 hours to arrive.
Oh, yeah. So the funny thing about the airport in Santiago is you have all of these steps. Now, today, after COVID, I have no idea how many more steps they have. But you had all of these little steps that you had to do. And the first thing...
And the airport's gigantic.
The airport's gigantic. It felt like after, 20 hours of traveling or something?
We walked for hours.
Yeah. But it probably took 2 hours to get our bags.
Yeah, the carousel was like a mess.
That's right. And folks thought, well, this is normal here.
I was like, oh,
what?
And I was sweating and sweating and sweating and sweating because it was so hot. Anyways, we digress.
And yes, so after we got our bags, we went through the agriculture, and then we went through the immigration, and then we waited again for our taxi to take us to the
hotel. Thank God the Intercontinental arranged a transfer for us from the airport to the hotel. So basically, we arrived at midnight at the hotel. It was really late, and that's it. We were like
done,
exhausted. Finito.
Now, if you guys want to know how to avoid jet lag, check out this video above.
Yes.
Because on this flight, we had no jet lag whatsoever. And one of the main keys, one of the main giveaways, arrive late.
Yes.
That way, when you get to your hotel, you can go straight to bed.
And wake up in the morning and you're good to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, next morning.
Santiago. We did a free walking tour of the city. We enjoyed it. It was quite nice. Our tour guide was very knowledgeable. They took us all around the downtown area of the city. They showed us all the Riots area, what it was before and what it was after. I have to say it was quite eye-opening.
I think the most eye-opening experience of this 4-hour free walking tour was the spicy air in Santiago.
I would see nose opening.
I had never heard of the term spicy air, or the air is a little spicy, because the night before there was a riot, and the police
used tear gas and still in the air.
Yep, and it's like capsaicin or something like that.
It's like when you smell chili peppers.
Yeah, it'd be like taking a chili pepper and wiping it on your eye. It was very strange. No, not fun at all. But it makes you realize how things are different on other parts of the world. Now, you might be wondering what a free walking tour is.
Yeah, those are fantastic. You should check if you're visiting a new city. So it's volunteer that they do these tours. They're very knowledgeable usually, and they only work for tips. So at the end of the tour, if you enjoy the tour, you're giving them tips.
Yep.
And we love it.
Yep, absolutely. And if you want to book one, you can go to freetour.com.
Yeah. There's in many cities now.
Yep.
Well then, the next day we took our transfer to the port of San Antonio. Very excited to be on the ship, and nothing happened that day. Actually, it was very smooth.
Right. Well, as it turned out, we had an extra night in San Antonio.
Yes, unexpected.
So it was unexpected. As it turned out, there was a delay in getting the right fuel for Antarctica
on the ship.
On our ship, because apparently you need a low.
Yeah,
a low emission or a cleaner burning fuel, and for some reason
it did not arrive.
It didn't arrive on time.
And not only that, there was a big storm brewing in the South Pacific area, and so it was safer to wait one extra night in San Antonio, and that was the reason why our itinerary got changed.
Right, and itinerary changes are normal for a cruise.
Yes.
These things happen.
Especially in an area where the sea can be a little rough, and the weather condition can be a little different. So they changed the itinerary. We were supposed to spend one stop in Punta Arenas, Chile, but that stop was cancelled, and we stopped in Puerto Montt instead. For us, it wasn't a big deal because we just booked an excursion to Penguin, but for some people, they booked a $3,000 flight excursion to Antarctica, and it got cancelled.
Yeah, well, at least they got a refund.
They got a refund. So, piece of advice, if you book an excursion that costs that much, book it with the cruise line, because if the itinerary gets cancelled, you get a refund.
Right, if our friends had booked it privately, that $3,000, bye-bye. Yep, it would have been just thrown into the sea.
So,
that
piece of advice.
That was a great idea.
Yeah.
We, in fact, on almost all of our cruise tours, we always book with the cruise line.
Well, first, reason number one, we always have so many onboard credits that we have to use somehow.
Right.
And reason number two, because we like the safety of booking through.
Exactly.
So, well, then we had 2 sea days till we reached Puerto Montt. The weather wasn't the greatest. It was a bit cloudy.
And for some reason, our tour took us to the top of a mountain.
In Puerto Montt.
It was so cold.
And rainy.
Yeah, actually, I think that was the problem. I think we all got soaked. There was nothing to see, nothing to do.
No. We were supposed to see a volcano and a waterfall. The only thing we saw was fog and rain.
At the end of my nose.
Yes.
That's about, all you could see was about this far.
Yeah, that's even the tour guide's like, why are we doing this? It's like, I don't know. Anyways, that was not a fun excursion.
I know why.
What?
To make us talk.
Well, maybe. Anyways, Puerto Montt, we didn't enjoy very much. The weather was miserable. And
we did have a nice tour guide, though.
The tour guide was very nice. It was lovely. He was showing us photo of what it looked like when it's sunny, which was completely different.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just skipped Puerto Montt. And then we had another sea days until we finally reached the Magellan Strait.
Now, I have to say, you got some really nice video of this.
Yes, the Magellan Strait. First of all, finally when we reached the Magellan Strait, then the sea was nice and calm.
Class.
Because, in between Puerto Montt and the Magellan Strait, it was pretty rough, I would have to admit. But
that was the Drake Passage.
Not yet.
No.
No, we're not the Drake Passage just yet. It was still the tail of the storm.
I'm traumatized by the Drake Passage. Traumatized. Okay.
Till the tail of the storm. And then finally we entered the Magellan Strait. Or Strait of Magellan. I actually don't know which one is correct. But anyways.
I learned it in school as the Strait of Magellan.
Well, the Strait of Magellan. And it was nice and smooth and very beautiful. Like really, really beautiful. Like super scenic. Lots of very high peaks, mountains, the Andes, and glacier was lovely. Another piece of advice, if you decide to do a South America and Antarctica cruise, please book a balcony cabin.
Or go with friends who have a balcony who will let you use their balcony whenever you want.
Yeah, because the scenery that you see from your balcony is special. It's like stupendous.
Every second, it's like a postcard. I was going to.
Sorry,
thunder. You stole my thunder. You stole my thunder.
Anyways, we had this beautiful cruising day in the Magellan Strait, and then the morning after we were in Ushuaia.
That's right. Ushuaia was so pretty.
It's very pretty.
And the sun was shining.
Finally.
There was just a few clouds in the sky, but it was just enough to make it. It was incredible.
Yeah, really beautiful. Ushuaia was really fun. We did an excursion to the Fin du Mundo.
The end of the world.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about the end of the world is we kept talking about going to the end of the world for a year. And I kept telling his mom, we're going to go to the end of the world. We're going to go to the end of the world. And she was taking me literally. And eventually she just said, stop talking about the end of the world.
I was like, no, actually it's called that. And we showed a photo. It's like la fin del mundo. Anyways, Ushuaia. I deeply enjoyed Ushuaia. It was fun.
It was cute. Well, when we got to see the old post office and all of that sort of stuff, that was very nice.
Lots of birds, lots of wildlife.
And then we got to walk down that main street in Ushuaia. That actually, it kind of reminded me a little bit of sort of like Juneau.
Yeah, very much so.
A little bit like Alaska.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Or even kind of like that road in Skagway, where it's just like one road.
Yeah.
Although there was more things than Skagway.
Yeah, definitely Alaska. If you close your eyes, you think, oh, well, it's Alaska.
Right, but this was, if you guys have been on a cruise to Alaska, this is like, it's like comparing, how do I say it, a dollar store bag with a Louis Vuitton bag. Alaska and Antarctica. Antarctica is like so much more incredible.
Yes.
It's so much more incredible.
Well, after Ushuaia, in the early morning, the captain came on the speakerphone.
The next morning.
And he told us we were going through the Cape Horn.
That's right.
And we were able to see Cape Horn from our balcony. It was beautiful. We crossed Cape Horn.
We woke up very early.
Very early. It was like 7 o'clock.
I think our favorite bartender got us some drinks that morning. Very warm drinks that morning.
Was, and after Cape Horn, we started the famous Drake Passage. And everybody was in the crew department was keep telling us like going there, super smooth.
Yes, going there,
super smooth. And
but what about coming back?
Going there, super smooth.
But what about coming back?
Going there, super smooth.
Seriously, it was like literally like that. And we got the point. We got the point.
Going there was glass.
Super smooth.
Super smooth.
But the Drake Passage is like that because apparently there's a storm that goes around and around and around Antarctica. Like just goes around and around and around and around. And when you happen to get it so that you're going down when it's nice, you're great. But almost every time you're going to get a storm either going down or coming back. That is a common thing.
Yeah.
Well, guess
going there, super smooth.
Stay tuned and we look forward to talking to you about what happened on the way back.
Exactly.
So
then we had to do an entire sea day on the Drake Passage, and we start like seeing like different wildlife, albatross, and apparently we crossed the famous line that is an invisible line where the ocean drops the temperature drastically. Now, from I don't know how much to 0 degrees.
I didn't get to see that because I spent most of my time in the spa.
Yeah, it was in the spa all day.
Yeah, I made good friends actually. There were some very nice people at the spa.
I was just trying to see this line, which you don't see, you feel it. So one moment is kind of like not too cold, and then 5 minutes after you're freezing, and that was the invisible line. And the morning after.
Yes, the morning after. Same thing.
Same thing, for about 2 hours, nothing to see, nothing to report. We went to the spa, we enjoyed there, and then we got out and we saw the first iceberg.
Yeah, they looked like little cubes of ice in the sea. It reminded me a little bit about our first time in Alaska because we didn't know what to think about, we didn't know what to expect. And
at that moment, the excitement was pretty high. Like
Yeah,
iceberg.
exactly.
So I ran to get my camera and got the camera and started taking like 1,000 photos of this little like iceberg in the ocean. But oh boy, after a few minutes, the scenery changed.
Yeah, the little specks of glass started getting bigger
and bigger and bigger to the size of a mountain.
Yes, and what you see on the outside is, they say, only 10% of the actual iceberg. So in other words, it's 10 times larger underneath.
Yeah.
And we're like just sailing by it, nice and
smooth. And it was beautiful.
Yeah.
We finally entered the Neumayer Channel, and that was absolutely stunning. Yeah, freezing but stunning.
Finally.
It was absolutely amazing.
Another thing about the cruise to Antarctica, it's a cruise of sea days.
Yes, you don't touch ground very often.
No, not at all. But it is so worth it.
Yeah, the scenery is absolutely breathtaking. And I think the Neumayer Channel and the Gerlache Strait were the two best part, in my opinion.
For sure.
It was absolutely beautiful. You go through this channel, and you have iceberg on both sides, mountains on both sides, glacier on both sides of the ship. It's like absolutely amazing.
Well, Gerlache reminded me, or made me think that I was on another planet.
Oh, yeah.
I used to watch Star Trek when I was younger, and I said, this kind of looks like a nebula, where the ship is going through these clouds of orange and pink colors. It's just so strange.
The ocean was colored like a color like pewter, like gray and incredibly smooth. And then you see this iceberg floating, and the clouds are just above the iceberg. It's like incredible.
And silent.
Silent, not one noise. The only noise was the ice stirring or the whales when they were jumping.
Well, you could hear the penguins going in the water.
Penguins,
you could hear it.
Incredible, like wow. We saw a ton of penguins, we saw whales, tons of whales. We saw sea lions. Oh, it was beautiful.
We saw everything. And what we saw in 5 minutes, in the first hour, was like what we would see a week in Alaska. I mean, it was just so special.
The glacier are like wow. And then that night we reached Charlotte Bay, another beautiful, beautiful place. I mean, spectacular, really beautiful. And we were able to see a sunset with colors like out of the world, like incredible.
That was probably my favorite sunset.
In Charlotte Bay, it was absolutely amazing. Like Charlotte Bay is beautiful. More icebergs, tons of like the color of the iceberg was incredible. It's deep blue and it was like incredible.
Yeah, you think that they're like painted.
Yeah, like wow.
The photos that we're showing here, these are not Photoshop. This is actually what we saw.
The color of the iceberg.
It's really just incredible.
And then the morning after, we're supposed to stop in an island. I don't remember the name of this island, but it was too foggy, so we moved on and we arrived in
Admiralty Bay.
Admiralty Bay. And there we saw a few research center and bases, more penguins, tons of penguins, more icebergs, more...
Some scientists came on the ship.
Some scientists came on the ship and gave us a lecture on how is living in a base and how is living in an Antarctica base. It's quite informative, very nice. And then later that night we reached Elephant Island.
That's right.
And that was another beautiful sunset.
I have to say that was my favorite sunset.
Your favorite sunset?
But they were all beautiful. This one was...
Yeah, it was pretty beautiful. And we went to bed, ready for a sea day on the Drake Passage. Not so smooth coming back.
No. So what did you do on your...
I tried to play bridge.
I watched practically every on-demand movie that was on the TV.
So...
I ate nothing.
You ate nothing?
Ate nothing. I was in bed the entire day.
We have some tips on how to avoid seasickness are going to be up here, but in the Drake Passage, even those remedies, they pushed the limit.
They pushed the limit, yes. And for us, for me at least, the big symptom, or the most annoying symptom I get of seasickness is being tired.
Yeah.
So fatigue. And that wasn't just us.
No,
crew. Even senior officers were...
Well, the problem is you're constantly balancing with your body and your muscles to keep up with this movement and the rockiness of the ship. So this constant balancing makes your body like exhausted.
That's right.
And we were like having cappuccino on deck 5 and you have waves hitting the window.
Crashing against the window.
It's like, okay, we are on deck 5. Can you imagine being on deck 3?
Yeah, well, like the crew area where they sleep.
Yeah, that was something.
Yeah, that'd be like deck fish or something.
So, anyways, we spent that day doing as little as possible. All the excitement about Antarctica was over. So I have to admit, that wasn't my favorite day.
But we had the Falkland Islands to look forward to.
The morning after we arrived in Falkland Island.
Now, admittedly, I didn't know a lot about the Falkland Islands other than this is where I was going to get to see penguins up close.
And we saw penguins up close.
Everywhere.
Oh, it was beautiful. Well, it was another fantastic excursion. Loved it.
I thought penguins were only in Antarctica.
No, there were penguins everywhere.
Who knew?
Like we saw tons and tons and very up close, like 2 meters away.
Guys, if you know where penguins exist, tell me where else do penguins exist. Let us know in the comments below.
But if you want to see a lot of them, Falkland Islands is a place to go.
Falklands are one place, absolutely.
Yeah, loved it. It was fantastic. Loved it.
We got to go on an excursion that took us in these Land Rovers, like the old style Land Rovers. They took us to a beach. I think they called it a rookery.
Rookery, yeah.
A rookery. And
they were like...
they take care of the penguins there.
tons of penguins. There were like king penguins and gentoo penguins and tons of chicks, like little baby penguins waiting to be fed. And
It was
being fed was beautiful. We stayed there like 2 hours, and they think like the 2 hours like they went like this. It was like incredible.
And of course the tour guide said, stay away from the penguins.
I think they took like 3,000 photos.
From about that far. They didn't mind. They were very photogenic.
They didn't care. They did not care at all.
In fact, some of them were even, one of them even photobombed one of my videos.
Yeah, they were like incredibly used people.
Yeah. They've got a character.
Yeah. And the day after was another sea day, and the day after was another sea day. But finally we started seeing the sun. Finally the temperature was going up.
It was like 74,000 degrees Celsius. It was
Finally we were able to sit by the pool, and it was amazing.
Yes. We arrived in Montevideo.
Yeah, beautiful city.
Famous for meat.
Oh yeah, it was lots of fun. The barbecue in Montevideo are incredible. Guys, if you go on a cruise to Antarctica and you stop in Montevideo, don't skip dinner the night before and skip dinner that night, but definitely have lunch in Montevideo. Beautiful.
It's so true. It costs nothing. You go to the market. They have all these barbecues everywhere.
Yeah, the smell is intoxicating, and there's like they barbecue everything. Oh, it was delicious. Unless you're a vegetarian, then it's a bit sad for you.
Well, you could have a French fry.
Yeah, or cheese. But it's delicious. And unfortunately, that was our last day on the cruise.
It was unfortunate because it was the last day on the cruise. But our last day on the cruise, we ended up in Buenos Aires. And that's going to be another video.
Yeah, it's going to be a video in its own because Buenos Aires, there's lots to see. It's a beautiful city and that really a lot.
It was probably my favorite city that we saw on that trip.
Yeah.
Buenos Aires, total surprise.
Beautiful, beautiful city. So stay tuned for Buenos Aires. Well, folks, this is it for our Antarctica experience.
What do you like most about this video?
Exactly, let us know. And let us know if you need any tip on packing or going to Antarctica or what to see or what to book.
That's right.
We can try to help you. Well, guys, hit the subscribe button if you like this video and see you soon.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.